On April 26, 2013, a Friday, Jessica Hearing, a 26-year-old woman, was working the late shift at a gas station in Norton Shores, Michigan, United States. Jessica, a devoted mother to her 3-year-old son, took on any available shift as she was determined to provide for her child, particularly since her partner, Dakota Quayle Dyer, had recently lost his job. Despite ongoing disagreements between Jessica and Dakota, she remained steadfast in her commitment to ensuring her son had the best life possible. On April 26, Jessica's day started as usual. She finished her grocery shopping at 2:44 p.m. before heading to her scheduled shift, and by 4:35 p.m., she arrived at the gas station, prepared to begin her workday. At 11:14 p.m. that night, a customer at the gas station made a 911 call, expressing concern. "I'm not entirely certain if this qualifies as an emergency, but there's nobody present. I attempted to pump gas, but it wouldn't respond. Upon going inside, there's no indication of any staff. There's a car parked here, and another one out front. It's quite suspicious." The customer also relayed to the 911 operator that although the gas station appeared open, with its lights on and no locks engaged, there was no visible staff inside or outside. Law enforcement arrived at the gas station to carry out a comprehensive investigation and quickly informed the owner about the unlocked state of the establishment. Upon examination, various perplexing clues arose surrounding Jessica's disappearance. Her car was still parked outside the gas station, and inside, her purse containing over $400, along with her keys and jacket, were found. Curiously, despite the situation, the money in the gas station's register remained untouched. It appeared apparent that Jessica had been in the process of closing up and finishing her shift when she mysteriously vanished. Inside the store, there were no signs of a struggle. However, upon inspecting the back door and its surroundings, the police made a startling discovery: traces of blood outside and a battery cover from a laser sight for a Walther P22 pistol, accompanied by 2 watch batteries. Reviewing the receipts, authorities noted that the last customer receipt was time-stamped at 10:52 p.m. As concerns about Jessica's absence heightened, the store owner reached out to the nearby store manager for assistance in closing the store. The investigation into Jessica Hearing's disappearance took a significant turn with statements from her friend and the store manager. According to Jessica's friend, she had been at the store with Jessica from approximately 7:40 p.m. that night, staying for over an hour before leaving around 8:50 p.m. On the other hand, the last customer known to have interacted with Jessica reported that the gas station was empty, with Jessica being the only person inside, and there was no one else in the store or the parking lot during their visit. The store manager, who arrived later to lock up, provided a crucial eyewitness account. She mentioned that she and her husband were out around 11 p.m., riding their motorcycles eastbound on Sternberg Road. While passing the Exxon station, she observed a silver minivan entering the north drive from the service drive of the mall. The van proceeded to drive behind the gas station, turned off its headlights, and pulled up behind the store. At that moment, Jessica's car was the only other vehicle in the parking lot. The store manager witnessed a figure at the back of the van, opening and closing the rear hatch before moving to the driver's door, getting inside the van, and driving westbound on the service drive. This account became pivotal information for the investigation into Jessica Hearing's mysterious disappearance. Throughout the time the van was present, the manager did not see Jessica and did not hear anything suggesting distress or a struggle. She witnessed the driver of the van, a male wearing a red or orange sweatshirt. Although her husband didn't get a clear view, he noticed the individual had unkempt or wavy hair. Additionally, her husband believed the van to be a silver Chrysler Town and Country. The police investigation into Jessica Hearing's disappearance expanded as they obtained surveillance footage from a store in the Point Mall, revealing crucial details. Despite the absence of cameras at the gas station, footage from the surrounding area proved pivotal. At 11:02 p.m., the footage captured a silver minivan turning northbound onto Grand Haven Road. Shortly afterward, surveillance footage from the Homestead Tavern depicted the same van traveling northbound on Grand Haven Road, just 1 minute later. Christian van Antwerpen, employed in a store adjacent to the gas station, notified the police that he observed a man in a minivan conversing with Jessica. He stated, "It just seemed to me that this was just another guy hitting on her or whatever because she was an attractive girl. It was just an afterthought. I almost didn't think about mentioning it, but I thought it was my responsibility to say something about it." Christian recalled witnessing an interaction between Jessica and a man at the gas pump as she prepared to close the station. Christian reported that the man appeared flirtatious and questioned why Jessica was outside instead of inside the station. Both Christian and the gas station manager provided the police with a description of the man they observed in the minivan. Based on their descriptions, the police released a composite sketch of the minivan driver, depicting him as a white male, approximately 6 feet tall, with a medium to heavy build. Throughout their investigation, law enforcement interviewed Jeffrey Willis, a local resident who owned a silver minivan, in connection with Jessica's disappearance. Willis consented to a search of his van, but investigators found nothing connected to Jessica inside. However, they observed that the van seemed to have been recently cleaned. Willis told the police that he had been at home until 12:30 a.m. that night. Despite thorough searches in the vicinity, there was no trace of Jessica, and the case eventually went cold, leaving investigators with unanswered questions and no definitive leads. In 2016, a troubling incident unfolded involving a silver minivan attempting to abduct a teenage girl. The girl, on her way home from a gathering, was approached by the driver of the minivan, who offered her a ride home. Sensing danger, she requested to use the driver's phone instead. However, once inside the van, the driver locked the doors and informed her that the phone's battery was dead. To her horror, he then revealed a weapon. As the situation escalated, the girl struggled to breathe and pleaded with the driver to open a window. Seizing the opportunity, she bravely jumped out of the moving van, managing to escape her captor's grasp. Remarkably, the teenager identified the driver of the silver minivan as Jeffrey Willis. Upon searching Jeffrey's van, authorities discovered a stolen Walther P22 pistol. Its serial number had been intentionally obscured, but through diligent efforts, the police successfully restored it, allowing them to trace the firearm back to its rightful owner. Surprisingly, the owner turned out to be one of Jeffrey's co-workers, who reported the gun missing from her residence. Adding to the mystery, she noted that the gun had a laser sight attached. However, when recovered by authorities, the laser sight was notably absent. The thorough search of Jeffrey's van, residence, and electronic devices yielded compelling evidence suggesting that Jeffrey not only attempted to abduct a teenager but also played a role in the murder of Rebecca Blatch and the disappearance and subsequent murder of Jessica Hearing. As a result, Jeffrey faced charges of murder. During Jessica's murder trial, the prosecution asserted that Jeffrey was a regular customer at the Exxon gas station where Jessica was employed. They emphasized that Jeffrey had inherited a dilapidated property at 3038 Bailey following his grandfather's passing, conveniently located just 12 or 13 minutes away from the gas station. On the night Jessica vanished on April 26, Jeffrey was reportedly present at a card game near the gas station, having driven there in his silver minivan. Phone records indicated his presence in the vicinity of the Bailey property around 11:23 p.m. That same night, subsequent police searches of the padlocked Bailey property uncovered cleaning supplies, including bleach. Testimonies from Jeffrey's coworkers further supported the prosecution's case, as they recalled observing deep scratches on Jeffrey's face and arms when he returned to work after that fateful night. Moreover, a witness who spotted a man resembling Jeffrey's in the minivan on the night of Jessica's disappearance noted blonde streaks in the individual's hair, a feature commonly associated with Jeffrey's hair highlighting practices. The prosecution argued that Jeffrey had been monitoring Jessica for a period leading up to the incident. They alleged that on that specific night, he maneuvered his vehicle to the rear of the gas station and coerced Jessica to enter his minivan, potentially using threats or physical force, as evidenced by the discovery of her blood outside the back entrance. Prosecutors theorized that Jeffrey abducted Jessica from the gas station and subsequently killed her within a time frame of 24 to 48 hours. They asserted that his motive was likely focused on engaging in criminal sexual activity. Testimony from Brendan Nestor, a regular customer at the Exxon gas station, was presented. She recalled encountering Jessica with Jeffrey the night before her disappearance and expressed concern for Jessica's safety, advising her against being alone at such late hours. In response, Jeffrey remarked to Brenda, "She's got her customers looking out for her." Brenda recounted observing Jessica's reaction to Jeffrey's presence, noting that Jessica appeared to shake her head and start shivering, as if a chill had suddenly overcome her. Brenda sensed that Jessica was not her usual cheerful self that night, prompting her to linger in the parking lot until closing time. From her vantage point, she witnessed Jeffrey departing the premises. The prosecution argued that Jeffrey returned the following night and abducted Jessica, building their case around this sequence of events. In their effort to strengthen their case, the prosecution presented a pattern in Jeffrey's behavior regarding women, emphasizing his alleged propensity for abduction. They recounted an incident involving the attempted abduction of a teenage girl and highlighted the case of Rebecca Blatch, a 36-year-old woman found deceased on a road near her residence. Rebecca had suffered a fatal gunshot wound. She was found with her shirt slightly raised and her bottoms partially lowered, indicating a possible struggle. The prosecution argued that Jeffrey had intended to abduct Rebecca at gunpoint, planning to take her to the abandoned Bailey property, where he would sexually assault and ultimately kill her. However, they claimed that Rebecca resisted, leading Jeffrey to shoot her. Evidence linking Rebecca's DNA to Jeffrey's glove was presented. Additionally, the prosecution asserted that Jeffrey used the Walther P22 pistol to commit the crime. These details were presented to the jury as part of the prosecution's argument. Police discovered compelling evidence linking Jeffrey to Rebecca Fletcher's murder, including her DNA found on gloves and a vibrator inside a locked toolbox, as well as on handcuffs within a locked lockbox, all recovered from Jeffrey's van. Furthermore, the Walther P22 pistol used in Rebecca's murder was found in the same lockbox, where Jeffrey's DNA was also present on these items. Prosecutors characterized these items as Jeffrey's rape kit, as they contained various tools and implements commonly associated with sexual assault, including handcuffs, rope restraints, chains, intimate toys, a gag, lubricating jelly, insulin, syringes, gloves, Viagra, cameras, and bullets. In the trial related to Rebecca's case, Jeffrey was convicted of first-degree murder and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. He was sentenced to life in prison, with an additional 2 years for the felony firearm charge. Although no DNA evidence was directly linked to Jessica Hearing, the prosecution asserted that they possessed abundant evidence implicating Jeffrey in her disappearance and presumed murder. They emphasized that DNA evidence was not necessary, given the substantial array of other incriminating evidence against him. Forensic examination of Jeffrey's electronic devices uncovered disturbing evidence suggesting his involvement in the disappearances and potential murders of Jessica Hearing and Rebecca Blanche. Investigators found folders on his computer labeled Vix, along with 2 folders bearing the initials of Jessica and Rebecca. Police concluded that these initials corresponded to the victims, with accompanying dates believed to indicate the days of their respective disappearances or deaths. Notably, the date beside Jessica's initials coincided with the day after she went missing. The folder labeled JLH, representing Jessica's initials, contained photographs of Jessica, including her missing poster, along with a saved news article detailing her disappearance. Upon further investigation, it was discovered that Jeffrey's passwords for multiple accounts included Jessica's initials and the date of her disappearance. Additionally, investigators found a large collection of disturbing images and videos depicting violent acts against women, including abduction, restraint, rape, and murder. Some of the materials featured items consistent with those used in the videos, such as restraints and gags. Furthermore, Jeffrey had numerous homemade voyeuristic videos showing young girls and women swimming or in their homes, filmed without their consent. These videos were clear evidence of Jeffrey's predatory behavior and lack of respect for others' privacy and safety. The defense vigorously maintained Jeffrey's innocence, challenging the prosecution's case on numerous fronts. They contended that mere possession of a silver minivan did not definitively link Jeffrey to the vehicle observed in the gas station footage, especially given the lack of a recorded license plate number. Furthermore, they scrutinized Brenda's testimony, raising questions about the timing of her claim regarding Jeffrey's presence at the gas station the evening before Jessica's disappearance, which emerged 3 years later. The defense also questioned the credibility of Jessica's boyfriend, Dakota Quayle Dyer, pointing out the turbulent nature of their relationship and the frequent arguments they had. Dakota's disclosure about Jessica's purported heroin use also raised doubts, leading the defense to speculate about potential connections between Jessica's disappearance and involvement in drug-related activities. The jury reached a unanimous verdict, finding Jeffrey guilty of the kidnapping and murder of Jessica Ringu. Consequently, he received a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Kevin Blum, Jeffrey's cousin, emerged as a significant figure following Jessica's disappearance. Initially, Kevin pleaded guilty to providing false information to detectives during the investigation. However, he later altered his plea to no contest, acknowledging his role as an accessory after the fact. Kevin confessed to aiding Jeffrey in disposing of Jessica's body after witnessing her with Jeffrey. According to Kevin's testimony, Jessica had suffered a head injury, was naked, bound, and motionless. He detailed how Jeffrey had been surveilling Jessica for some time, and had assaulted her before moving her body to a secluded area. Kevin recounted a distressing account involving sexual assault, the use of intimate toys, and torture inflicted upon Jessica by Jeffrey. Eventually, they both drove to Sheridan Road near Layton Road, where Jeffrey had already arranged a burial location. After the legal proceedings concluded, Jeffrey was sentenced to time served plus 5 years of probation. Nonetheless, Jessica's remains remain undiscovered, denying her family the solace of closure. Following her disappearance, her parents spearheaded a campaign for legislative change by proposing the Jessica Hiringa Act, also referred to as Jessica's Law. This proposed legislation aims to compel gas stations and convenience stores operating between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. to either implement and uphold security camera systems or ensure the presence of 2 employees during these shifts. Despite their advocacy, the bill has yet to be signed into law. In 2018, the Michigan House of Representatives approved a bill mandating convicted defendants to listen to victim impact statements. The necessity for the bill arose from Jeffrey's behavior concerning Rebecca's case, wherein he was convicted of her murder. Despite being obligated, he declined to listen to the victim impact statements. Consequently, in that same year, the bill was enacted into law and is recognized as the Rebecca Blatch Law. What do you think of today's story? Write your opinion about this case in the comments. I thank you for your attention and recommend subscribing to the channel, as well as clicking on the bell to not miss new videos that are released daily. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. See you soon.